Harambe YouTube, it is Charles here, the black man in the red state, and this is going to be my first official video after my introductory video. On this channel, I'm going to give you my personal perspective on politics and my view and my understanding. I am not perfect. I am not exceptionally smart, just my thoughts on the political climate. Today, I want to talk about Lloyd Austin. Now, as far as my military understanding and experience, I have not served. I tried not to pay too much attention to politics until a couple years ago when it really started affecting me. My father is a veteran. He was a veteran of the Air Force and Army Reserve. I have an uncle who was one of the first people to die in the very first Desert Storm. It was a training accident. So that's my history. No personal experience, and I'm just now getting hip to even what a Secretary of Defense does. But the thing about Lloyd Austin is I never really thought one way or the other about him until he had his medical issues. And when he went in for surgery and fell off the map and did not alert anybody, I thought that he should have been fired. I thought that that was awful. I still think it's awful. I think it is a blemish on an otherwise stellar career. I probably don't have the merit to speak on his service as somebody who's never served, but as somebody who he is put in place to serve, I was very disappointed and still am. And I thought that I would never see anything so disgraceful from that office again. Until yesterday and the news about Pete Hegseth. Now, putting aside our political differences and ideologies, I had thought, okay, this guy is so gung-ho, this guy is so military, this guy is so full of his own shit that the last thing he's going to do is leak confidential information for the sake of his own vanity. And I was dead wrong. The fact that a reporter who was added to a confidential briefing unknowingly, he didn't even want to be there, and he excused himself from it, and when you realize what was going on, that's big. That's a breach of a lot of security, and it really puts the U.S. at a weaker point when it comes to intelligence because people are not going to want to share with us. Left or right, that's just a fact. If you have a friend that has a big mouth, you're not going to tell them your deepest, darkest secrets. And I thought, okay, to be fair, the guy is not a general. He's younger. He made a mistake. For the sake of his vanity, he should own up to it, apologize, and promise to do better. If only for the sake of his vanity. And the first thing he did was attack and blame a journalist who didn't ask to be put on this thread. He didn't request it, didn't want it. But this leak happened. And he blames him for something that he had no control over. That says a lot about the character and the moral compass of the person who was in charge of our entire military. While I still think what Lloyd Austin did was ridiculous, I respect him for at least apologizing and taking the blame, even though I still don't excuse it. Not a big fan. And one thing that really confuses me on this is that I can criticize Lloyd Austin for what he did. And I'm going to be real with you. From the left, I haven't seen any criticism. That's crazy to me. That people just forget about Lloyd Austin's mishap. But I can look at that objectively and say that that was bullshit. And I can look at what Pete Hegseth did and say that that was absolutely horrendous, life-threatening bullshit. I heard that there was actually a CIA asset exposed in that text thread. You know, this could have put service members in danger, and for the whole administration to just, instead of one person saying, you know what, we fucked up, they're collectively going into cover-up mode. And I encourage you, if you're on the left, if you're holding Pete Hegseth to the fire, don't forget Lloyd Austin, because then you will lose credibility. And if you're on the right, don't fall for the gaslighting. On the right, I hear all the time we're about truth and faith and freedom. Hold this guy accountable. Irregardless, we have a lawless president who is not going to hold anybody to the fire because he doesn't hold himself accountable. But we, as voters and constituents, need to hold him to a higher standard. And when we're having these discussions, we need to say, yeah, what Lloyd Austin did was fucked. What Pete Hegseth did was fucked. That's not left, right, that's straight down the middle. Anyway, that's the opinion of this black man in a red state. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Like I said in my introduction video, if you want to engage respectfully and honestly, I will engage. But if you get in my comments being disrespectful and ignorant, I will not. You guys have a good day. Thank you for watching.